I was trapping like a fool. Me and that fool kept that fucking tool. Didn't go to school.
Before Gucci Mane helped to pioneer trap music, founded 1017 Records, and worked with artists including Drake, Lil Wayne, Jeezy, T.I., Kanye, and Rae Sremmurd.
Black Beetle club closed when I say so.
That girl is a real crowd, please.
Before Gucci Mane dropped 72 mixtapes, 5 EPs, 3 compilation albums, 2 collaborations, 1 soundtrack, and 10 studio albums, and that's not including Mr. Davis, scheduled for release on October 13, 2017, with guest appearances from artists like Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, The Weeknd, and Migos.
I know that these niggas getting sick of me. They chains on my neck cause a meal a piece. I don't even like to freestyle for free. I put in the key and I ride the beat.
Before he had an ice cream cone tattooed on his face and an iced out Bart where his heart used to be.
I got an iced out Bart where my heart used to be. An iced out Bart where my heart used to be.
Before shocking his fans with his extreme weight loss, having shed a reported 75 pounds in the lead up to his first day out the fence.
I get so many death threats, it's getting normal to me.
Before the weight loss led to some pretty strange conspiracy theories.
You look good.
I'm happy for you, Gooch.
Thank you. What did you think the first time you heard you got cloned?
At first I thought it was a joke.
Gucci Mane is without question one of the most influential artists in all of hip-hop. He helped to create and popularize trap music, influenced the new generation of rappers, and has recorded more work than almost any other MC in the game. But prior to becoming a rap legend, he was a poor child in Bessemer, Alabama, growing up alongside his half-brother. Young Gucci Mane's mother tutored him on the Bible and taught him to read and write from an early age. Excelling in English, he fell in love with poetry and even got a scholarship to pursue it. But that all fell away when he was arrested for the first time on drug charges, making the beginning of 2 lifelong pursuits for Gucci Mane: rap and trouble with the law.
I really was just high as hell, out my mind, and I don't blame, I'm not using like the drug, like the escape. It was me. I was just in a bad place, and I was just so high.
What's going on, guys? My name's Michael McCrudden, face tattooing you with an ice cream cold before they're famous on Gucci Mane. I've covered Gucci Mane in an after they're famous video in the past. It's pretty fantastic. I also did it before they were famous on him way back in the day. But I figured it's about time for an update. You guys let me know who you want me to document next in the comments down below, or you can always hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. Alright, let's do this.
We've been undercover for 6 months, and what do we have?
But sir, we are so close.
Well then, get me Gucci Man.
Radrick Delantic Davis was born on February 12, 1980 in Bessemer, Alabama. As a rapper, he would come to don the stage name Gucci Mane. People often mistake the name as having something to do with the high-end clothing company, but in fact, it's a family nickname that Radrick inherited. Radrick's father, Ralph Everett Dudley, was a power plant worker and former US serviceman who had been stationed in Korea for 2 years. His mother, Vicki Jean Davis, was a teacher and a social worker. By the time Radrick's parents had met in 1978, his mother had already had another son from a former relationship, Radrick's half-brother, Victor Davis. Prior to Radrick's birth, his father Ralph was wanted by the police for selling crack and heroin. He fled the state and was living in Detroit when Radrick was born. Ralph would visit his son now and then throughout young Radrick's childhood, but eventually Ralph would start his own family in Atlanta, and his visits to Bessemer, they would come to an end. But Radrick's paternal grandmother spent a lot of time with him, especially when his mother was busy attending college to earn her degree. Vicki taught Radrick about the Bible and how to read from an early age. These extracurricular lessons gave him a huge advantage in school, according to Gucci. Reading and writing as long as I could remember was a way to show off. I wrote better than those my age because she was teaching me before I got to school. Radrick attended Jonesboro Elementary, where his superior reading and writing abilities led to a love of poetry. His first introduction to hip-hop came from his older brother, Victor. Victor brought Radrick to see Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, and LL Cool J in concert. At the time, Radrick was just 6 years old. In 1989, Radrick, Victor, and their mother moved to Atlanta, mostly to avoid family issues that had cropped up in Bessemer. Vicki had a boyfriend in Atlanta who she was planning on moving in with. but that guy had a last-minute change of heart. Instead, she moved her family in with someone she had met in church. After a while, they were kicked out of that house as well. After a period of serious instability, Radrick's father set them up in Knights Inn, where they stayed until Vicky could afford to move her boys and herself into a home in East Atlanta. There, Radrick attended Cedar Grove Elementary School. He continued to excel in reading and writing and stood out because of his Alabama accent. 14 years old Gucci Mane began practicing his rap skills. He was an athletic child but never participated in after-school sports. Instead, he and his brother followed in his father's footsteps, selling drugs on the streets for pocket money. At first, he sold weed, but in the 8th grade, he decided to invest his Christmas money into a more lucrative product: crack. His involvement in drugs would come to a head when he was 18 years old, with the first of his many arrests. He was booked on cocaine charges and served 90 days in jail, but when he got out, he realized it was time to get serious with his rap career. Like with reading, writing, and poetry, Gucci Mane excelled as a rapper. Asked those around him, and it seems he had a winning combination of incredible efficiency in the studio and an unparalleled work ethic. As sound engineer Corey Anders recalls, a producer would start playing a beat and 5 seconds later, he'd be like, "Stop, I'm ready to go in." 8 hours later, 5 songs completed. That was a typical day for years with Gucci. Gucci Mane recorded La Flare with Straight Dope Records in 2001. Originally, just 1,000 copies were produced and sold in and around Atlanta, but 9 years later, it would be remastered and re-released.
That go 12, my nigga, you better bail, my nigga. And you locked down in no motherfucking cell, my nigga.
In 2002, he met up with producer Zaytoven for the first time. He connected to SYS Records as a member of Sign Yourself Click. He then launched his own label, La Flare Entertainment. He then met Big Cat, the head of Big Cat Records, and secured a distribution deal with Tommy Boy Records. He would eventually release his debut studio album, Trap House, with both Big Cat and Tommy Boy. The album would feature his first single, Icy, featuring young Jeezy, who was an up-and-coming rapper himself at the time. The song would help to launch both rappers into the spotlight, but would also create a beef between them. Gucci was angered by rumors that Jeezy planned on including the song on his debut album Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101. But in the end, it wasn't there. Jeezy claimed he never received the royalties he was due from the song, but just days after its release, Jeezy dropped a song called Stay Strapped, in which he placed a $10,000 bounty on Gucci Mane's icy chain. Unfortunately, a group of 4 men decided to take Jeezy up on his offer. On May 10, 2005, Gucci Mane was attacked at a house in Decatur, Georgia. Gucci was apparently pistol whipped before he and his crew shot at the attackers, killing 1. The body of Pookie Locke was later found buried behind nearby Columbia Middle School. Gucci Mane turned himself into the police on May 19, 2005 and was charged with murder. As the district attorney's office prepared their case against Gucci Mane, he released Trap House on May 24, 2005. Talk about hype. The album hit number 5 on the US indie charts and number 10 on the US rap charts with 127,000 copies sold. But you gotta imagine Gucci Mane was not in the mood to celebrate. With murder charges still looming over his head, Gucci Mane got into more trouble with the law in June when he assaulted a nightclub promoter. In October, he pled no contest to the assault charge, landing him 6 months in county jail. While locked up, the district's attorney's office decided to drop the murder charges due to insufficient evidence. Gucci Mane was once again a free man in late January of 2006, this time for good. I'm just kidding.
In my mind at the time, the only way that I could feel good, maybe if I hurt somebody else, I was just that frustrated and that stressed out. I had like 6 open cases.
On October 10, 2006, Gucci Mane released Hard to Kill, which reached number 6 on the US rap charts and included his biggest hit single at the time, Freaky Girl. Trapathon and Back to the Trap House would drop in 2007, reaching number 69 and 57 respectively on the Billboard 200. Between 2006 and 2008, he also released 11 mixtapes and a compilation album, Hood Classics. Despite his prolific production of music, he also found the time to father a son whom the public wouldn't be made aware of until 2017 in the release of his autobiography. Obviously, Gucci Mane was keeping busy, so it's no surprise that he failed to make time for the community service hours he had been ordered to serve following his 2005 arrest for aggravated assault. In September of 2008, he was arrested for violation of probation, having completed just 25 of the 600 hours he had to do. He would then find himself back in jail jail, sentenced to a year in Fulton County Jail. But he was out of there after serving 6 months. By now, Gucci Mane was becoming a household name in the hip-hop industry. MTV ranked him at number 6 on their 2009 Hottest MCs in the Game list. He also apparently started to get mobbed by fans. Enough so that he had words for what he called male groupies.
Groupies, male groupies, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't no gangster, and you know that I am, respect that I am, and come to me right, you know what I'm saying? Because when you come sideways, that can be a problem.
Murder Was the Case was released in 2009, peaking at number 3 on the US rap charts and 23 on the Billboard 200. Gucci Mane then decided to move on from So Icy Entertainment and started his new label 1017 Brick Squad Records. He would release his next 6 studio albums with the label. The State vs. Radrick Davis dropped in December of 2009. It was certified gold and reached number 1 on the US rap chart and number 10 on the Billboard 200. The Appeal, Georgia's Most Wanted, followed the next year, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard 200. The return of Mr. Zone 6 would come in 2011. But while his music kept coming, so did his legal issues. In 2010, he was arrested for driving on the wrong side of the road, running a red light, damage to government property, obstruction, and a bunch of other traffic charges. In 2011, he was ordered to a psychiatric hospital after his lawyers filed a special plea of mental incompetency to deal with his charges he was facing. The same year, Gucci was also arrested twice in April, once for battery and later on 2 separate charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In September of 2011, he was given a 6-month county jail sentence and was released in December. More charges would follow in 2013 after Gucci Mane apparently hit a fan on the head with a bottle, while the guy was talking to a security guard about getting a photo with the rapper. Another fan claimed that when he was trying to shake Gucci's hand, the rapper responded by punching him in the face. Gucci Mane turned himself in for these charges, claimed he was innocent, posted $75,000 in bail, and the next day was arrested again for parole violation. In September of the same year, he was arrested for possession of marijuana, disorderly conduct, and carrying a concealed weapon. According to the federal prosecutor, he was found to be in possession of 2 different loaded guns and could face a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. On May 13, 2014, Gucci Mane pled guilty to the firearm charges after receiving a plea deal which would have him in prison until late 2016. He served his sentence in Terre Haute, Indiana and was released on May 26, 2016, more than 3 months ahead of his scheduled release date.
Life in prison was hell. It helped me a lot to get to the point I am now. You know, it just dried me out from the drugs, gave me time to reflect.
Upon his release, fans were shocked to see the new Gucci. He lost a reported 75 pounds, got off the drugs, and seemed to start speaking a lot more clearly. As rumors swirled across the internet that Gucci Mane had been replaced by a clone of himself, he released his highest charting album yet, Everybody Looking. And because this is Gucci Mane, 1 studio album was not enough for 2016, so he also released the return of East Atlanta Santa. His next album, Mr. Davis, is expected to be released on October 13, 2017. In the same month, he is also set to marry his fiancée, Keisha. Keisha. That's it. That's right. The couple is going to marry on 10/17. Yeah, that sounds good. As for the rest of the story, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. God, who knows what else this man will do or what else will happen. Jeez, we might have to update his after they're famous. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys in this video. My name is Michael McCrudden. Be sure to browse around, hit subscribe, check out our playlists on rappers. I don't think there's someone on there you won't find a video on. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And also be sure to check out this video we've chosen for you, because if you like this one, you'd probably like that. Okay, that's a lot. Also, I heard Gucci Mane's gonna make an album with Jake Paul, or a song. I'm gonna make just 1 video about that, because that's ridiculous. Okay, bye. Boom!
I guess that, you know, people ain't used to me being healthy and taking care of myself and being happy. So I can understand why they shocked.